Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into the science behind making a career change. You know, if you've ever felt like your own brain is actively fighting you every single step of the way, well, you're not imagining it. But here's the good news. You can actually remodel your brain. Let's get into it.
So does this feel familiar? That sinking feeling of being completely stuck, where the job title that used to be you now just feels like a trap. You want so badly to make a change, but you feel, well, paralyzed. Maybe even a little confused about who you even are without that professional identity you've had for so long.
Okay, this is probably the most important thing you'll hear today. That feeling of resistance, it is not a personal failure. It's not a sign of weakness, it's actually a feature, not a bug, of your brain's operating system. See, your brain is, at its core, a prediction machine, and its #1 job is to keep you alive. To your brain, the misery you know is way safer than the potential happiness you don't. And that brings us right to the heart of the problem, the identity crisis. And listen, this isn't just some vague psychological idea. It is a full-blown neurobiological event. You're not just switching jobs, you're literally asking your brain to smash a self-image that it spent years, maybe even decades building.
The main character in this story is something called the default mode network, or DMN. Just think of it as your brain's own internal narrator, the voice that's constantly running the story of you. For years, that story has probably been something like, I'm a lawyer or I'm a marketing manager. The moment you decide to change careers, you're telling that narrator its main plot point is wrong. And that doesn't just destabilize the network, it triggers a system-wide alarm.
So, why does it feel like such an impossible uphill battle? Well, it's because your brain has this incredibly powerful 3-part defense system that's specifically designed to resist this exact kind of deep, fundamental change. It's not trying to sabotage your happiness, it's just trying to protect you from what it sees as a huge, terrifying threat.
So, let's break down how your brain fights back. First, you've got this powerful habitual pull. Your brain just loves running on autopilot because it saves energy, so it will constantly try to drag you back to what's familiar. Then you've got identity conflict. This is wild. Your brain actually generates an error message when you start acting like this new person, making the change feel fundamentally wrong. And underneath all of that, you've got raw survival anxiety, with your brain's fear center, the amygdala, just screaming danger at all the uncertainty of a new path.
And this constant internal tug-of-war, that is what leads to burnout. But here's the thing. Burnout isn't just about being really tired. It's a physiological state of complete system failure. It happens when your brain's most basic needs, we're talking growth, autonomy, and meaning, go unmet for way too long.
And just look at the actual damage this can cause. When you don't have opportunities for growth, your brain gets starved of dopamine, and that can lead to an inability to feel pleasure. When you lack autonomy, your system gets flooded with the stress hormone cortisol, which can literally damage your memory. And without a real sense of meaning, you miss out on the deep rewards that buffer you against stress, leaving you with that classic burnout brain fog and just feeling numb.
Okay, so that was the bad news. But the great news? Your brain actually comes with a built-in upgrade button. You are not stuck with the brain wiring you have right now. This is where we get to talk about the absolutely incredible power of neuroplasticity.
Right, so neuroplasticity isn't just some nice-sounding metaphor, it is a physical reality. It means that with focused attention and new experiences, you can literally physically change your brain's hardware. The connections between your neurons can be weakened, strengthened, and completely rerouted. You can actually build a new brain for your new career.
And this rewiring happens in 3 main ways. First, there's synaptic plasticity. You've probably heard the saying, neurons that fire together wire together. Well, it's true. The more you do something new, the stronger that brain connection becomes. Second is structural plasticity, where your brain physically changes. For example, a professional musician's brain actually grows larger in the areas that control their fingers. And finally, there's neurogenesis. You can literally create brand new neurons, especially in the part of your brain that's key for learning and memory.
So, how do we actually press that upgrade button? Well, you need a toolkit, a set of strategies that work with your brain's natural tendencies, not against them. So here are a few practical brain hacks to get your neural reboot started.
The first tool is so simple, but it is unbelievably powerful. The next time that wave of fear or anxiety about the future hits you, don't try to suppress it. Just name it. Silently say to yourself, I am sensing anxiety.
That one simple act of labeling immediately shifts brain activity away from your panicked, emotional fear center and over to your calm, logical prefrontal cortex. It puts you right back in the driver's seat.
Okay, next up, you need to rewrite your story using something called narrative identity. Your past experience isn't baggage you need to get rid of, it's a unique set of assets. By creating a bridging narrative, just like the one you see here, you're basically giving your brain's default mode network a new script. You're showing it that this change isn't a scary break from the past, but a totally logical next chapter. You're integrating your past, not trying to erase it.
And if you're feeling trapped in a job where you have no control, you need to fight back, but on a micro level. Find one tiny little thing you can control. Maybe you optimize a spreadsheet your way. Maybe you block out 30 minutes on your calendar for research that is untouchable. Each of these small acts is like giving your brain a little autonomy vitamin, sending a powerful signal that says, I am in control, which immediately starts lowering your stress.
All right, let's put this all together. A career transition is a huge project, right? And like any big project, it needs a plan. So here is a 90-day roadmap that's designed to systematically help you remodel your brain for your new professional life.
In the first 30 days, your only goal is to reset. You'll use emotional labeling and microautonomy to just calm your brain's fear response. Then, for the next 30 days, you reshape. This is where you put in the deep, focused work to build new skills and create those strong new neural pathways for your future career. And finally, in the last 30 days, you integrate. This is where you actively practice your new professional identity, solidifying it until that creator mindset becomes your brain's new, effortless default mode.
You know, at the end of the day, the battle for a new career is really won or lost inside our own heads. The amazing thing is, the tools of neuroscience give us the power to stop being a passenger, just reacting to our brain's old, outdated programming, and to become the actual architect of our own professional future. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?